I just got back from a 12-night Norwegian Fjords cruise with P&O, and here's everything we got up to, so you know exactly what to expect if you're going on the Aurora ship. It was honestly so nice to wake up and be in another port today. So our next stop is Alta. One thing I will say is try to get to the breakfast buffet a little bit earlier. It really does get quite busy on the port mornings, and in a port like Alta, you basically get shuttle buses, and the wait time for us was about half an hour outside, so you really have to make sure you time it right, especially if you've got activities booked. So yeah, absolutely plan ahead. But I will say the bus service was really good. I think they came every maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. So we went to our very first activity, which was feeding the reindeers. We booked this way in advance on Get Your Guide, and I feel like this was about maybe £35 each, and it was so worth it. They were honestly so cute. For the first like half an hour, you're basically feeding the reindeers, meeting the reindeers. They were so gentle. There was no teeth, so it wasn't, you know, painful or anything. They were just nibbling all the little kibble out your hand. And then afterwards you listen to like a talk about reindeers kind of in the past and what they do with reindeers now, and it was so interesting. This was absolutely one of the highlights of the trip. So where this was based was, I think it's called Sam's Reindeer Cafe. It was something like that, but it was about a 10 or 15 minute taxi drive out of Alta. The taxi itself cost us about £15 each way, but there is taxis everywhere. You will not be short of taxis in Alta. Where the bus drops you off, there's basically a tourist information desk. So if you go into there, they can literally book the taxi for you. They also have activities that you can book there and then. So we actually met a couple that booked the reindeer experience there and then we all got a taxi together. We then explored Alta a little bit. We walked around, had a few drinks, and the bartender at this bar actually showed us a few photos of the Northern Lights a few days before. So we were really talking all about Northern Lights today in the hopes that we were going to see them on our trip because we haven't seen them yet. So remember, because you're getting a shuttle bus, you have to get it on the way back as well. And again, these ran, I think, every 20 minutes or so. One thing I absolutely loved about this trip is that you could just walk back onto the ship, so you didn't have to get in like the small boats to actually go to the port. That was a big tick for me. The waiters were so funny. They know that Nathan loved his food on the cruise, so they brought out 2 starters for him. And then while we were having dinner, people were coming up to us saying the Northern Lights were outside. We honestly could not believe our eyes. It was the best thing I've ever seen. An absolute dream come true. And another thing that they do on this cruise, if the Northern Lights are being shown, they will put it on the tannoy. So if you keep the TV on a certain channel, they'll basically announce that the Northern Lights are outside at any time in the day or night. They were beautiful. So now that my dreams have been made, we decided to go to the silent disco and have a little dance. This was honestly so funny because hearing back and hearing everyone sing is just hilarious. So we set sail again and we're going back through the fjords to our next stop tomorrow at Tromsø.